Aren't you sick of not being heard? Aren't you sick of people looking through you instead of actually seeing you for who you are? Let me tell you something. You are, in fact, the controller over whether your voice is silenced or whether your voice is actually going to be heard. Now, there are going to be some factors that come into play here that kind of give us that push, and not always in the right direction, but they give us that push that actually forces us to make the decision to silence our voice. So maybe you're somebody who is feeling insecure. Maybe you're feeling inadequate. Maybe you're somebody who's gone through a traumatic type experience and you're feeling grief. Maybe you're angry. Maybe you have suffered from abuse, or could be just a lack of self-confidence and self-assurance. I want you guys to understand that when we're talking about things like grief, anger, abuse, these are things that are going to require a much deeper level of healing. Baby, I am no therapist, okay? I am not certified in anything. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I am none of that. I am just somebody who is willing to share my life experiences and what I have gone through. But baby, I can't give you healing for that. I can encourage you. And I do encourage you that if you are somebody who has silenced your voice because of things like grief, anger, abuse, then I highly suggest that you seek professional help. That way you can talk about it and let it out. But I do still hope that this video gives you encouragement as well. But for my people who are suffering from shyness and you're suffering from a silenced voice because of things like insecurities or a lack of confidence or self-assurance, oh baby, this video is for you, and we are going to end all of that today. Welcome back, my loves. I am so excited for this video today because this is something near and dear to my heart. There was a time, okay? There was a time I never would have imagined turning this camera on and letting y'all see my goofiness and the actual real version of myself. It took a lot to get to this point, and that's what I want to share with you guys today, which is us getting over that shyness, stepping into our power, and actually having a real level up. Can we say that one more time for the people in the back? We're gonna have a real level up. I know a lot of us associate the level up with materialism and, oh, I can get this car, I can get this bag, I can get this, I can do that. No, this is all about leveling up mentally, because in order to sustain that lifestyle that you're trying to get to, you have to be in a different mental space. You have to have a mindset that is just completely different from what you had before. And shyness is a part of that. That's why I am so excited to get into today's conversation. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. So what is shy girl syndrome? And keep in mind, this is a very personal definition. A lot of people can make their own assumptions about what they feel like shy girl syndrome is. But to me, this is something that starts off small. Maybe there was an incident that happened that caused you a little bit of insecurity. It caused you to maybe shut down in that moment. Well, then you never dealt with it. And we all know that once we have an issue that happens and we don't deal with it, then things begin to pile on. And they begin to pile on, and they begin to pile on some more. And then what happens? Our little tea kettle lid is like about to pop off because we're not dealing with our stuff. So I feel like that's kind of what happens with shy girl syndrome. We have a situation that happens that we didn't deal with the insecurity that happened in that moment. And then it kind of just piled on and piled on. And then at some point you began to build anxiety about being in social environments, or maybe you began to build anxiety about speaking your mind or giving your opinions in certain situations. And keep in mind, a shy girl is not always necessarily an introverted girl. She could very well be extroverted as well, but maybe again, that voice has been silenced a little bit. So as much as she wants to express herself outwardly, she's having issues or struggling to figure out how to express how she feels or express her thoughts and opinions. If I had to give common traits of a shy girl, we're talking somebody who avoids conflict of personal views and you choose to say nothing. Again, this is somebody who is shy. Like, think of a shy girl that you've seen. This used to be me. Body language used to be very closed off. I didn't look people in the eye. I was very just kind of to myself. And I would read the room. I would read the room and always know what was going on, but I just chose not to speak in certain situations because, again, I avoided conflict. I didn't want my opinions to trigger somebody because then it would make me shut down even further. So another common trait could, again, be insecurities. This is a person who wants everybody to like them. Again, going back to the first thing that I said, avoiding conflict. So you want everybody to like you, so you tend to just keep all of your thoughts and opinions to yourself. Kind of go with the masses. Everybody's opinions and choices, you go with theirs rather than speaking about yours. So this is somebody who can lack confidence and self-assurance. Of course, we said that at the beginning. Somebody who is a pushover. And then this can also be somebody who is easily accessible and does not have boundaries. The biggest problem with this though, you guys, the biggest problem with being shy and having shy girl syndrome is it can cripple your growth in your life. It can change the trajectory of your life if you allow it. I won't say I allowed it. I will say that this was God's plan for me. But I'll kind of give you guys a backstory. I was that very shy girl. And one of my traits, one of my qualities was that I did not want to be alone. And I struggled to speak up for myself. So I felt like I always needed somebody there who had just a little bit stronger personality than I did to be able to speak on my behalf. Senior year rolls around. And when I say, okay, I had a dream, not me sounding like Martin Luther King. I had a dream though, that I wanted to go to an HBCU. From the beginning of high school years, I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU. Specifically, I wanted to go to Alabama A&M. You guys, it came down to it. I got scared. I didn't want to go by myself. I changed the whole trajectory of my life. Now, again, keep in mind, like I said, this was God's plan for me all along. I know that very much. But I changed the whole course of my life that I had already planned out because I didn't want to go by myself. I was too scared. I was too shy. I couldn't speak up for myself. I was not confident enough to speak up for myself. So trust me and believe me when I say shyness can have a huge impact on your life. It can have a huge impact on the things that you want to accomplish for yourself. It can completely X out your goals because you don't have that self-assurance and that confidence. You've let that shyness take over, and now it's crippled you from even being able to, again, outwardly express your emotions and your feelings. So one thing about this that I realized, remember I said I knew all along the things that I wanted to do. God gave me a vision a very long time ago. And that vision was very specific. I saw myself in large crowds of people, like in front of a large crowd of people. I saw myself as this positive version of myself. I saw myself doing things in this vision that I never would have imagined. Keep in mind, this is during the time of me being very shy, very timid, very introverted at that time. Even though naturally I am an extroverted person. But God gave me that vision very, very, very early, and I could never understand why. But trust me when I say, you've thought about the person that you wanted to be. You've thought. Either, what's the technical way? Either you've received a vision, or either you have put a lot of thought into the idea of the version that you actually see yourself being. So what I want you to do with that is identify your strengths. One of the very first things that I did when I started on this path of becoming more confident, knowing who I am, learning how to use my voice, I started realizing where my strengths were. I was always good at talking to people. I was always good at clearly expressing my thoughts. I have a good dialect, a good tone. I can speak in a certain way. I noticed this stuff a long time ago. I was just too shy to express it. Duh. I noticed that I wrote just as well as I talked. I've had people be like, why haven't you written a book yet? Yeah, I'm sorry. My lighting might get a little bit off. The sun is not on my side. And y'all know, I've said plenty of times, Where my window? Oh, thank you, sunlight. Anyway, you have to identify your strengths. If you are a shy person right now, like I said, you've either gotten a vision or you've thought about it. Identify every single strength that you have, because you are going to play on it at some point. Once you build up enough courage, enough confidence, enough self-assurance to be able to allow those strengths of yours to really come out, it's all about being prepared at the end of the day. So we've prepared ourselves. We've identified those strengths. We know the person that we want to work to. We see it in our head. Now we have to just make the necessary steps forward in order to get to that person. So I have just four quick little tips, practical tips that helped me so much in actually shedding that shyness once and for all. And a lot of this is going to have to do with mindset. And I want y'all to know we're going to do a lot of topics on mindset. So I don't want to dive too deep into this one. Like, I can't give y'all the meat, mashed potatoes, the green beans and the macaroni. I got to save something for later. The very first thing that I did was I looked everybody in the eye. You will notice if you start looking people in their eye, they will look away. People are not accustomed to looking somebody directly in their eye. My old mindset, I put people on a pedestal over in a, you know what, let me rephrase that. I didn't put people on a pedestal. I looked at them as if they were better than me. People who drove better cars than me, I felt like I was less than them. People who made more money than me, I felt like I was less than them. I didn't look people in their eye. In my mind, I thought I don't have what they have, so I'm not as good. Strip yourself of that thinking. Literally right now, if you gotta pause this video, pause it. Because you have to strip yourself of that thinking immediately. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. I don't care what your social economic status is. For my girls, I get my wax once a month, like you wax, okay? I shave just like you do. I spray perfume on just like you do. I brush my hair. I use the bathroom. I have a monthly Flo. Hello, Flo. We don't like you, but we have her. So if I'm a human being and the next person is a human being, why do I feel like they're over and above me? Why am I looking at them as if they're over and above me? We are equals. So once I just pushed my notes. My notes are on my tablet. And I just pushed my tablet into my perfumes. Hold, please. And if you are wondering, yes, I do have on my pajama bottoms. When I started changing my perspective and adapting this way of thinking, it really began to show me that all along I had the power that I needed. All along I had the voice that I needed. All along I shut myself down because I always thought that people who drove certain cars, lived in certain houses, had certain jobs, I thought that they were over and above me. I limited myself. I limited the way that I thought about myself for a very long time because of this. Stop looking at people's social economic status and just look at them as a human being. Look everybody in the eye that you come across. Anybody who crosses your path in life, look them in the eye, okay? This will begin to give you the confidence that you need to do the next things on the list. So, number 2 thing that I started doing was I started expressing my opinions more in my innermost trusted circle. Start practicing voicing your opinions more. Start practicing speaking up more in those inner trusted circles. That way, you can start building that confidence that you need to start talking to people outside of your innermost trusted circle. So start talking a little more. Get comfortable with speaking. Get comfortable with allowing your thoughts to flow freely instead of keeping hold of this inner dialogue. Let it out. Let that inner dialogue that you have with yourself become outward dialogue that you can have in a conversation with someone else. And then allow your thoughts and opinions to bounce off of each other. Maybe you guys have similar thoughts and opinions. Maybe you don't. But your innermost trusted circle is not going to judge you. They're not going to, try to get in a heated discussion or anything like, well, I can't say that because sometimes me and my innermost trusted circle, oh, baby, we can get into some heated discussions, but it's never an argument. So just get comfortable with that because number 3, you're going to start putting yourself in social situations that are going to allow you to practice what you did with your innermost trusted circle. Now you can start getting out in society, start sparking up conversations with strangers. Start being a little social butterfly, if you will. Get comfortable with being out amongst other people and not feeling like you have to shut down. Now, you have to read the room though, okay? You have to read the room. You don't want to go into a situation where there's somebody that you've never met and off the flip, y'all are butting heads because y'all have such strong personalities and such strong opinions. Read the room, okay? You got to learn how to do that one for yourself, but take these things into consideration. And like I said, when you get to that point where you can get out and about in the public and speaking your mind, it just gives you that much more confidence. All of your confidence will build up throughout this process. The 4th thing that I did, which is something that has become popular over the last couple years, just because, there are a lot of content creators who talk about this subject, but it's solo dating. Solo dating will teach you to be comfortable with being by yourself. Remember, I told you guys, I struggled with doing things by myself. I felt like I always had to have somebody there. Now you can learn to do these things by yourself. But not only are you going to be confident in being alone and being by yourself, now you have the confidence to be alone and also still put yourself in social situations where you're talking to strangers and sparking up conversations and allowing your opinions and thoughts to run freely. I talked about this on an old video. I can't remember which one it is on my page, but I told y'all I struggled with this, okay? I struggled with this well into my 20s. You guys got to keep in mind, I had a roommate in college, dropped out of college, came back home, stayed with my grandma for a little bit, and then moved in with my now husband. I never lived alone. I never had that time to really get a sense of who I was as a person. I never got that time to be by myself and be comfortable by myself. So when I was 30 years old, I took my very first plane ride by myself. And I had to hit one of these numbers, trying to look out the window seat. Had to hit one of these numbers. Little tears was rolling down my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I was crying. I didn't know how to be by myself. I did not know how to be comfortable. So when I told y'all this is near and dear to my heart, and I seem so passionate about this because these are things that I have had to work on literally within the last couple of years. This is the most confident version of myself that I have ever been. Because I promised myself and I decided when I changed my mindset that I will not allow my voice to be silenced. And I don't want you guys to feel like you have to silence your voice because of shyness. We got to shed that off. If you want to level up in your life, you have got to step into your power era. This is my power era. Power in this season is not about trying to have power over other people, okay? This is not a pinky in the brain moment. We are not trying to take over the world with our power. We're not doing that. This is about power, stepping into your power as a person, your strengths, allowing the power of your strengths to come out and not silencing them and not suppressing them. So if you want to have that transformation in your life, it starts with you stepping into this power era. My confidence is power. The way I walk is power. The way I present myself is power. The way that I speak is power. That is what I'm talking about when I say power era. Everything about you, how you present yourself, your qualities, your characteristics, who you are. You are a powerful being. So stop suppressing that and actually allow people to experience that. Allow people to experience and feel that energy that radiates off of you in this power era. Because let me be very clear, you guys, you stepping into your power can be the very thing that motivates somebody else to step into their power. It is about you transforming your mind so that when you do step into that next phase of life, you can again sustain it. Baby, trust me and believe me when I say we are going to have more conversations about this topic. I guarantee you. Because I had so much fun talking about this matter. Like, y'all just don't understand. This is something that just really gets me fired up because I used to be that person. I used to be so shy. Like, you could just read it all over my body language. I was like slumped like this. And I always kind of look down at the ground again. Like I said, I didn't look at people in their face. So I kind of be slumped and, you know, like, again, kind of reading the room, but, you know, like real shifty. Like, I just pray that anybody who is experiencing that shyness and struggles to let their light be seen, I'm going to help you get that light out, because everybody should get to experience your light. Each and every one of us has a different light within us, and we're going to let that light come out. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and all of my goofiness that came with it. I'm just real fired up today. I don't know why, but I'm real fired up today. But I really, really hope and pray, take out the hope. I pray that this video helped you in some kind of way. Find that confidence, identify those strengths, and we're gonna shed all of that shyness. We're gonna shed all of those things that keep us bound so that we can let that light come through. I really hope that I catch you guys on the next video. Until next time, though, bye-bye. Bye.